Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the 757 Renaissance Man podcast. Today is a unique episode. It's going to be included in the 30-day content challenge that we're doing with the Content Creators of Color Collective that I helped organize. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to introduce you to my sister, and I really mean sister, Shaconda. How you doing?
Hey, Sean.
It's my church sister, y'all.
Thanks for having me.
I'm good. Man, so we had, I don't know about you, but I had a great weekend. All that don't know from the 757, this weekend was the Battle of the Bay. And,
yes.
You know, you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah! So we won the battle. We won the game and the Battle of the Bands.
Yes. Behold, the green and the gold.
You know, anytime you say that on my show, that music starts playing. So you gotta be careful. Yeah, that's one of the joys of living in, the 757 is the Battle of the Bay. And, this is the first one in, was it 2 years or a year? 2 years?
Probably.
I think so,
2 years, yeah.
because they didn't have it the year before COVID because Hampton switched that conference.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been a long time. This is almost bigger than homecoming for each individual school.
Right.
Traffic over here was shut down. It was not fair.
Traffic is always bad, and I work at the VA, so I'm used to all of the traffic that's surrounding the area.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for you because, especially now with that tunnel construction, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but then once you start doing it, and traffic already bad as it is, so you're gonna throw that. You're gonna build two whole tunnels.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle. Luckily, I'm working 2 days on site, so I'm not there every 5 days. But still, it's still a hassle just to get to and from Hampton and Chesapeake, Portsmouth.
That's why I moved. Everybody's like, "Why are you over there?" Because I had a job over here, and I refuse to drive across the tunnel every day.
Right, I agree.
I don't need that stress in my
hassle.
life. It's beautiful. It's great when it work out. It's great, but I don't need that stress in my life every day because you never know what you're gonna get.
Lie.
Yeah, you never know.
It does mess your mood. It does mess your mood up.
It's bad enough for me coming back and forth to church.
Yeah.
On the nights that we got rehearsal, it's hard. Like those Wednesday nights, because for me to get to rehearsal on time, I have to leave like an hour and a half early because rehearsal falls in line with that shipyard traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for me to be at church by 6, I need to leave my house about 4:30. And if I'm really smart, I'm going to leave before 4 o'clock because that's when they get off from work. I
leave at 3:30 to pick up Savannah by 5. And I get there like 4:40, 4:45 sometimes because the traffic is so bad.
So, yeah, let's see. I get it. In 2025?
25.
Something like that. Let's see how our traffic is.
We'll see.
So, okay.
I'm hoping they increase my teleworking days.
Yes. Work from home is great.
Yes, it is.
So you mentioned working with the VA. Tell the people what you do.
So currently I am the suicide prevention program manager for the Hampton VA Medical Center. I am just recently been promoted, May, I believe, to the supervisor of the program. So I started off as a case manager. Then I was elevated to coordinator, which is like the team lead. And now I've been promoted to the actual supervisor over the program. So my job is to raise awareness of suicide prevention and to keep our veterans safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a
Mental.
lot of education and training, consultation.
Do you find with your work with the veterans that mental health may need to be more so in the training of the military so they know how to handle it after? Like, I mean, they train you how to shoot a gun. They should train you how to, deal with the consequences of shooting that gun.
Right. So they do DOD and Veterans Affairs. We do work close together. We do start that education while they are in the military. However, when they do transition to civilian life, things change,
Hmm.
and they really don't realize the struggles until you actually get out there, and then you have to learn how to deal with it on your own. You have to learn how to deal with the new resources that are available, and they're not as how can I say, they're not as accessible as they were when they wasn't, active duty. So that's our job. We have a transition team at the VA that helps them. So as their date is coming, they are getting those resources put in place so they won't be out there alone.
Awesome, awesome. I I also want to. How much of your work is dealt with regular, just day to day stress that as a veteran they'll deal with versus stress that's related to their service?
Oh wow. I'm gonna say uh I would say probably about 80%. A lot of the stress that we hear, because we manage the Veterans Crisis Line, and a lot of the stress comes from relationships, poor relationships, or failed relationships, um, uh, and like with their spouses, their kids. A lot of it come with just their environment and getting along with others, and then they do talk about the access to mental health care or access to services. That's a stressor too. Um, it's one thing to have the issues or the pain that they experience from combat and not be able to get the help that they need. So that's always a conversation when we talk to our veterans. But it's not just combat related or military related that they struggle with. They struggle with, coming out of the military and trying to raise kids and be there for their kids because they've been deployed for so long, and reestablishing those relationships with their spouse or their friends. So a lot of the issues that I do hear about is relationship issues.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I also want to touch upon one of my favorite things that you do is your work with the youth and specifically with the young ladies. Tell the people about that
Yeah.
program.
All right. So I have a 501c3 nonprofit. It's called Created for a Purpose Incorporated. You will see my shirt, Created for a Purpose.
Uh huh.
And one of our primary programs is Ladies with Purpose. So I started Ladies with Purpose in 2017, but I didn't become a 501c3 to 2019.
Hmm.
My purpose was that as for me growing up, I didn't find my purpose until a very late age. Excuse me, a very late age. And so I really wanted to help young girls find their purpose, because when you find your purpose, then you can free yourself from distractions. When you know where you're trying to go, you want to allow things to get in your way.
Hmm.
So if we start young, my program works with girls 11 to 17, and it's our relationships still continue well beyond 17. I mean, I still have young ladies that I'm helping move into the dorms, getting them settled in college. So it doesn't start when they turn 17. I'll hope that the relationships that my mentor fostered will remain forever. But we start from ages 11 to 17. So we're starting at a very young time in their lives for them to be able to know, okay, this is who I am, and this is where I'm trying to go in life.
Yeah. So, what was your inspiration for starting that, and how hard was it to get it off the ground?
Um, so my inspirations, I've always had a passion for youth. In church, I started off in church, of course, being in on the youth ministry at my old church, or I call it my birthing church. It's where I was born and raised. So I was a youth advisor, and just my passion for kids. So being a youth advisor, I was a foster care social worker. I did in-home counseling. So my passion was youth, but I am a female, and
Hmm.
who can relate to young girls better than a female? I really do believe in, men being that support to young boys. So I wanted to focus on the ladies. And like I said, for me, I struggled, growing up trying to figure out what is it. I knew professionally what I wanted to do, which would be a social worker, but I struggled in knowing what that looks like. I struggled in relationships, and so I wanted to just be that support system for the young girls. And so I wanted them to start young. I didn't find my purpose till I would say, 2017, when I created Ladies with Purpose. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, this is what I should be doing. I've done the social work. I've done the being the therapist. Um, and I'm at the VA now, but I actually do love being at the VA. But it was something missing. Something still was missing. And when I created Ladies with Purpose, I was like, okay, this is it. Even on my worst day, going in and spending time with the girls just makes everything go away. So I know that is my purpose. And it wasn't hard. I really had a good support system, as far as resources in the community, people who have started nonprofits, attended a nonprofit boot camp, and that helped me, learn the process, the paperwork that needed to be submitted to get it rolling. I have 9 great mentors that have been with me, and they volunteer. It's at this time it's not a paid, duty, and so they take the time to give back. And I really could not do this without them.
What was your biggest challenge, not only for you, but for the young ladies that you mentored once the shutdown happened?
Keeping my girls engaged. So we went to Zoom, and they participated in school virtually, and then they signed on for mentoring on Zoom. It was a struggle. They showed up, but they weren't really engaged. It's just totally different being on a computer than being in person. So my girls showed up. The parents made sure they showed up, but you can tell the participation on Zoom versus how they participated when we were in person. And we had guest speakers to come, and we did different crafts, and we tried to do cooking, and we had different topics of finances and things like that, and they showed up, but it was just a different engagement than it was in person. So this year, this program year, we're going to rotate. We're going to do 1 month face to face and 1 month Zoom, because we still know that COVID is real.
Mm-hmm.
However, I want to see my babies. I want to interact. I want to interact with my babies, and so we're going to rotate. But their engagement was a lot different being virtual.
Yeah, yeah. My complete transparency, my daughter is one of your mentorees,
Yes.
and being a single father, I really appreciate this being in place, because, like you were saying, I can't teach her how to be a young lady. I
Right.
can teach her what I can teach her, but when it comes to, um, and we gotta face it, being a lady is different than being a young man. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally different. I don't care how anybody tries to say let's equal it out and all that. No, it's different. Y'all work different. The way y'all work is different,
Yes.
than the way we work. The way you analyze and the way you think is totally different. And if anybody tells you something, they're lying to you. They're trying to set you up. Men and women think totally different. And
I agree.
I can't tell her. I mean, little simple things like we can go to just last night. She's going to her first homecoming dance, and she thinks she's going to the Oscars.
Yeah.
So she had to have a dress, and she wants some shoes, and she got to have the purse. And I can get you some Jordans, and we can get you some jeans and a fly shirt, a little polo shirt, and that's elegant to me. That's how we go. That's how Daddy gonna rock it. So
No.
she called her mentor, and she was like, "I need some help. Daddy's a man, and I need a dress." And
Exactly.
they made it happen. Of course, I had to finance the journey
Of course, that is the role of the man is
of
the debit
Daddy.
card.
Right. I played my role. I was Daddy. I held out the credit card and said, "Go ahead." But yeah, and everything, and they even talking about getting her face. Okay, I ain't got nothing to do, and I can trust that because as a single father to a young lady, I know I'm in daddy mode, so I may not realistically know what's appropriate at certain ages.
Right.
You know, because you
Right.
ask me, should never ever have makeup.
Right.
She could date when she's 35. You know,
Oh Lord, she'd be married, having babies at 60. You
right,
know,
right, yeah. Be Sarah in the Bible. But
oh, I agree.
I need
No, I
that. I need that knowledge. I don't have that, you know, and I appreciate that. And I mean, that is something that we need as a community all over. Where I find that the mentoring opportunities for our youth aren't as plentiful as they were when we were kids growing up in Chesapeake and Portsmouth.
right. I think the mentor just serves as a middleman because we definitely do not overstep parents, their wishes, how they want to raise their child. But we do try to be that voice for the child to be able to explain how they feel and to help the child be able to understand what the parent is saying and why it is the stance that they're taking. And I just feel like we serve as a middleman. And sometimes it takes like for you to say something to her, but then when her mentor says something, it's the
It hit
same thing
different,
you
right, right,
said.
right, right. But it hit different, yeah.
Same thing you said, but the way she delivered it, for some reason, it clicked for her,
Right.
And so we definitely just try to be a support to the child and the parent. But it's different. I have a great relationship with my father. My father is like my best friend. People ask my brother, he's like my best friend. He called us Will and Grace. And so we talk about any and everything, but it is just a little different than what, something that, I just go straight to my mother about, especially just being a young lady. Like, and then we know it's uncomfortable for you all when it comes to makeup and the right undergarments and, just making sure that they look like a young
Boys
lady.
and boys.
Boy and boys. That's probably like up here. So, but
She's
you're
at
doing a
that.
great job, Sean. You are. So
I
I
appreciate
definitely
that.
commend you.
I appreciate that. She thinks that all right, so she's in high school now, so she wants to do everything possible. And my rule is as long as your grades don't slip, go have at it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now it's crazy. Like she doesn't get home from school till like 7 o'clock. I don't see her all day. She's doing band
That's
and
nice.
basketball. She's doing it. And
She's doing it. She getting those scholarships.
I hope
She's trying to
so.
stack those
Well,
scholarships.
right now she's straight. Well, she has all A's and one B,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not mad. My I'll leave you alone until I see anything below a B, and I start
Right.
hovering around you if I see that too many A's fall off. But
Right.
I'm gonna leave you alone, and then once you get into C land, that's when iPhones come to daddy. And yeah, if you lose your iPhone in my house, you lose it to the next official grading thing. So I'm not going to say period. So if
Mm-hmm.
you lose it in between midterms When that midterm grade comes out, we can reconsider. Right?
Gotcha.
Once your grades
Right.
are up and I got something official, I'm like my daddy, I'm going old school, I want some paperwork. Then if you lose it after that, you can't get it back until your next report card. The power of the phone, man. You can make them do anything.
Oh, Lord. Sean.
I can say, little Sean, walk to 7-Eleven backwards for me. No, give me your phone. I'm gone.
Oh, Lordy.
See,
Yep, that's it. Some electronics.
You was all nervous for nothing, and guess what? The video crapped out, so it's going to be just an audio only. And he was all nervous for nothing.
Oh, my video went out.
Yeah, but we'll do something else. I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so this is how I end all of my episodes. And it's very, very, for you, I know you probably got to go to answer because you do it. If a young lady came to you asking you for life advice, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to believe in herself, to never set limits to the things that she wants to do in life, because there's no limit, especially when you have God in your life. There's no limit to what you can do, and sometimes we put ourselves in a box. But I believe in full authority over your life, and I believe that we can do whatever it is that we want to do if we just believe in ourselves. And I know sometimes we can be our own, we can sabotage our own life and our own decisions. So believe in yourself, put it on paper what you want to do, and take the necessary steps to achieve it.
Awesome. How can people get in touch with you? What's your websites? What's your socials?
So I am Created for a Purpose INC on Facebook, and our website is www.cfapurpose, so Created for a Purpose, .org.
Awesome. I appreciate your time. So now you know we're going to do it again. We got to do it again because I need the video version. We're going to do it again.
I know, and you done had me.
I know, and I did all that fixing up. Y'all don't know. I had her change around her whole background and everything. I had to get her lighting right. But we redo it. We're going to redo it soon, and we'll just go ahead and make this version exclusive to the 30-day challenge.
Okay. Sounds good.
That works for me. I appreciate your time. As always, I love you, sis. Ladies and gentlemen,
all right, thank you.
This is another episode, special edition of the 757 Renaissance Man Podcast, 30-day challenge edition, and we are out. Peace.
Thank you.